Hey, Julie.
Hi, hello everybody. Welcome to Monday Night Domains. We have another chilly Monday back, and so I hope everyone's kind of gotten into their New Year vibe. Dad, how's your New Year going?
It's good. It's kind of like last year was the soft launch of the new year. I decided this year is back to work. We're fully
Activated.
into 2025.
It's a good year. I got a good feeling about it.
There you go.
I've been trying to get both my work things cleaned up and my house things cleaned up. That way I can work better. So that's I don't know if you feel the same way I do, where having a clean workspace makes me feel more productive, but I feel that way. Oh, and early on in the stream, we have a special guest. Sorry, normally we don't get that. We don't get a. Oh, no audio.
Hello?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hold, please. I can hear you.
I can hear you.
No audio. Hmm.
Um,
I'm a domain guy.
can you hear us now? Maybe it was a temporary thing.
Let's see.
Trying to think if there's any. I don't. I wonder if the
I'm
cat muted.
checking my
I
phone.
don't think that's possible. Yeah. Everything should be going. I don't have
Hold on, let me go
anything.
get my phone. I'll check my phone.
Okay. You guys are stuck with me for just a second. Let's see if there's something I can do on this side. Yeah, everything should be working. Well, give us 1 second. If you guys can hear us, then it's going to be awkward silence. But if you can't hear us, then you understand why we're struggling.
Yeah, I'll do like this as sign language. All right, let's see. I'll join on my other Twitter, my secret Twitter account.
No one knows about until now.
That's right.
Michael Steiger wants to know if we're going to the ICA event later this month. I am not. Dad, are you?
Michael, I'm not this year.
Oh,
Uh,
no. Oh,
okay,
okay.
good. Oh, there we go. We
You
can.
can hear us. Okay. Well, I don't know what happened there at the beginning. Maybe my cat stepped on a button, which wouldn't be out of character for her. So, Dad,
Yeah,
you
no,
don't know it?
yeah. Mike Steiger is referencing the Internet Commerce Association, which is the trade group that fights for individual domainers' ownership rights, and they have an annual meeting of all the members in Las Vegas, which has become quite the go-to place to go to. So
What a popular domain conference spot, which I'm not complaining about. Steven, and I think there might be the issue on your side. We're hearing some feedback saying that people can hear us, unless it's just on Twitter.
But anyway, on the ICA, they do great work. I've helped them out and contributed to them their causes. You can still join, I think. It's for members only, and they have different membership levels to join the ICA. So if you've never looked into you kind of being with a group of fellow domain name owners, talking about the things that face domain name owners, that's what they do at their yearly summit. So anyway,
That sounds like fun. I can't wait to hear about it. Maybe we'll have to get some info from people who do go.
there we
See
go.
what's going on over there in the world. But
Well,
Dad,
welcome.
you said you found a
Yes.
killer sale for us this week.
Well, I did.
I love a killer sale.
Killer sale
Killer
on
sale.
domain names. So way back before when dinosaurs roamed the earth, I got into the domain business in about 2000, 2001, 2002, and the wholesale price for a domain name was $6, and most places charged $35. And it was a revolutionary thing in '02 and '03 when you could buy a domain for $10 or $12 as a reseller.
Wow.
So
Finally, something inflation hasn't hit.
so
That's
anyway, slowly but surely, based upon a bunch of legal wrangling, the company that controls .com has slowly moved the wholesale price up to almost $11. And then the registrar, GoDaddy or Namecheap or whoever you're with, they have to buy it and then sell it to you for a profit. So Spaceship, which is a new innovative registrar from Richard Kirkendall, who also owns Namecheap or is part of the management team at Namecheap. They've come out with $4.95 registrations.
No way.
It's almost half price, or as I like to say, get 2 domains for the price of 1. You got 2 domains you're thinking about buying. Mike Seiger, our friend, is just cracking up right now because he knows that I love to buy domains. Now, instead of having, wonder which of the 2 domains do I want to buy, maybe you're deciding between a singular and a plural. Maybe you're deciding against Tulsa electricians or Wyoming electricians. Now you can get them both. But for me, go ahead.
Question: would you ever sacrifice the quality of domain just because it was on sale?
Yes.
Okay.
At our
pork bun.
Since we're talking about .com today, this is the pork bun T-shirt.
Oh, I should have thought ahead and wore mine.
See, for .com, because that's the old school pipe smoking, dinner jacket. Yeah, that's the dinner jacket. And pork bun is at $6.99, I think. I've been buying some there now.
I think it's worth it for the extra $2 because they have fun T-shirts.
Well, and they also have a marketplace and landing pages at Pork Bun, which, this is really important for you investors out there, allows you to buy a name. I can buy my names at Pork Bun, or Dynadot does this too. You can list them for sale, and a lot of times in the first 2 months that you own a domain name, say I buy it, and then I do some email outreach. Hey, Julie Howe, you're a fashionista in Cincinnati. I just bought CincinnatiFashion.com. Would you like to buy it for $15,000?
Not for that much.
Okay, how much? You say 500, I say 800, you say 1,000. We do a deal, and you say, oh, how do I get the name? And I say, well, I just bought it. And because in the first 60 days that you own a domain name, you can only move it at the existing registrar. So what I like about Dynadot and Pork Bun is they let me have a checkout page that lets the buyer buy it. And then boom, they just instantly get it in their new account. Anyway, I hope Spaceship has that. I haven't checked it out yet today, but I'm going to post that tonight, is which marketplaces and aftermarkets, if I buy a name at Spaceship for $4.95 plus the ICANN fee, ICANN charges a tax on every domain of 18 cents.
So that means the crypto gas fee isn't really that revolutionary, so we can pay that.
It's but the key is which marketplaces, when you sell the name, will they let you just push the name to the buyer at Spaceship? Like you would open your own account at Spaceship, and I would move it from my account at Spaceship to your account at Spaceship. I can do that. If you say, oh, I wanted a GoDaddy because that's all I know, then I'd have to be like, well, Julie, I have to wait 60 days before I transfer it to you.
Why is that? And also, do you ever not market domains right as soon as you buy them because of that? Because you don't want to go through like that awkward phase of, well, you have to have it at this registry.
If I'm buying a name specifically for outbounding, and I think the customer base that I'm reaching out to may be picky about where they want it. If it's a $10,000 or $20,000, $30,000 domain, you can talk anybody into it because they want the name. But yeah, I will sometimes wait, and I'll put it on the aftermarkets for the first 2 months until it's freely available, because a lot of times when you have somebody in an email exchange or on the phone, you want to finish it up, and you don't want to have any barriers or pain points.
Like, you don't want to get oh yeah, we agree on this, but you have to sign up with this registrar. And
then they're thinking, oh, this is a scam. It was probably more likely like 20 years ago when domainers had a terrible reputation. Everyone thought they were scams, but it is a lot more explanation. And then, of course, the buyer can go, well, then why don't I just wait 2 months? And then I'm like, well, why don't you go ahead and pay me now, and then I'll move it to you in 2 months.
That doesn't go well.
And then they're like, why don't I just pay you less? But
so would you ever set up an account for someone and just say, here's the login?
That's Julie Howe.
Well, that's what I've done with
Julie Howe.
CFD. I've had some friends, I'm like, yeah, I'll help you with your website if you get a CFD name. They're like, well, what do I do? And because it's not on GoDaddy. And so I'm like, well, just here's your, and whenever I did the PR packages for CFD, I was like, here's your username and password. Everything's on there. That's all you got to do. Let me know whenever you want the email changed to yours, and we'll do that. And it's all easy.
Well, Julie, you nailed it. You nailed it. I'm so proud. Because you do have to have a confirmed email address to set up an account. So there is this little tiny part where you can set up the account with your email address and then create the username and password and then have the person log in and they see the name. And I used to actually let the customer log in and see the name in their account before I sent them the PayPal request. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Just because I knew I could change it later, or I was building trust. You know what I mean? I was trying to show them that, you know.
And they would need because wouldn't they verify with the original email before it was changed? They couldn't change it out of your email before you got paid.
Right. And so then what you would do is you would say, okay, I'm ready to change. It used to be great because before the email thing, I could create an account for you and create the password and just send you the login and password.
Right.
So anyway, but no, you've identified exactly the best workaround. But this is also why I think as we do more with Web3, we're going to be able to navigate these pain points where you're just going to have the name in your wallet. You know what I mean? Which is going to be a crypto, certified, way of owning a name. Now, you say, why is there the 60 days? So originally it was because it took that long. It used to take you that long to pay for it.
Oh.
So you used to call the registrar and say, I want the name, and they would reserve it for you.
When did credit cards start to exist?
Exactly. And you would send in a check in the mail.
Back in the dinosaur days.
Yeah,
back when you were a boy.
Anyway, so but you could pay with credit card in those days. And then the reason that there's a 60-day lock when you transfer is so if someone got your user account information, they faked it, they faked the password, they convinced a registrar that they were you, and if that name moved, that it would be locked at the new place for 60 days. So if you said, hey, that name's stolen, it would be locked until they could figure out what was going on.
And that's actually a decent reason.
But that's for the transfer. So you go back to what is the original reason for the 60 days, and it probably has to do with chargebacks, someone paying for it with their credit card, getting the name, and then the world is full of squirrely people, and then they would transfer the name to another registrar, and then they would cancel the credit card transaction or something.
Okay, so we kind of agree with the 60 days. That does seem to protect the buyer and the seller a little bit. So I can't.
But if the registrars got together and wanted to change it, they can, as long as they do it in a bottom-up consensus way. That's this ICANN group where they would all get together and say, we think it's now, better to do this. But you're right. The way to do it is to create an account. So anyway, so here's the question. I can get these domain names for $5.99 now instead of $10.99 or $11.99 or $12.99. So what do I want to get?
All of them.
All of them.
All of them.
So then the question becomes, all of what? You can't just go to a registrar and say, give me the best domain name. Because the registrar will give you the domain names that companies are paying extra for them to try to sell you. But that doesn't happen in .com. So all the registrar will do is you can ask him, is this available? And they say, yes. Is this available? No. Is this available? No. Now, the first show we ever did, Julie, I told you the domainer's dilemma. So if everyone's out there listening, here's what you always have to remember, especially when you're shopping for coupon names. If it's such a great name, why is it available?
Yes.
And if you're buying it to sell it to someone else as a domainer, you're saying that up until today, no one's looked for that name. No one's wanted that name. And if they did want that name, they could have bought it. So you're going to go buy it and you're going to tell yourself, oh, they didn't know about it. But if they did and they typed it into the registrar, they would have got it.
So you gotta that's why they take a while to sell. That way it's like that dilemma kind of goes away. Like, oh, he's had this name for a while, that's why no one's bought it. And it's probably because of the price that no one's bought it. And yeah.
Now, then you say, domain investors have been saying for 20 years, well, I'll buy domains that are expired. People have thrown them out in the trash. So up until this week, it looked like they were taken. So people didn't know they were available, and then they became available only for a couple of days. And then I bought it, but now I am willing to sell it. And maybe the old owner wasn't willing to sell it. So,
is that your first lead whenever you buy an expired name, is finding the old owner and sending them an email and be like, hey, I don't know if you meant to drop this or not?
No, I never do that because I think that's pretty cheesy. That's pretty tough. That's like say you got a new credit card at your bank. GoDaddy sent you one message. You didn't renew your name. You let it drop, and then someone called you and said, I have it now.
Yeah. I didn't know if something would be considered a courtesy, like, hey, I saw you drop this.
Well, and a lot of people do it, but I can't bring myself to do it. And when those people contact me and they say, hey, I have to say, listen, I saw this name was available. I bought it. I had to bid against a bunch of other people. Because a lot of times for good names, when they expire, you have to buy them at auction. So, but anyway, so here's what I did today. I looked at names that dropped in the past month that I put on my watch list that I thought I might want. But at the very end, I said, no, it's Christmas. It's the holidays. I'm not buying too many names. And I didn't buy them that day that they dropped, but I kept them on my watch list.
Right.
And I keep my watch list for specifically times that the coupon codes come, because then say you could give a domain a score. And on a scale of 1 to 100, if it had a score of 50, that means it'll sell in the next 5 years. Just say that was true. Say you could do that with AI. Well, you may decide that if I buy 100 names a month with a score of 50, I'll make this much money. But they have to have a score of 50. If they have a score of 40, it would cost me too much to renew them and I wouldn't make money.
Right.
But when your acquisition price gets cut in half, maybe they make sense. But here's what you got to remember. After 5 years, you will have paid $5 the first year and $11 for the next 4 years. And if you would have paid regular price, you're still going to have to pay that $11 a year for the next 4 years.
So you only get a discount the first year.
Oh, you only get a discount in the first year. And so you really need to be buying names that not only do you think people are going to buy from you, but they're going to buy them from you in the first year.
Yeah. So what about if you hadn't been doing your due diligence as a domainer? You know, it's easy for you when there's sales because you have your watch list and you have your list of words you've been wanting, all that stuff. But what if the holidays and you got busy and you kind of took that time off and you don't know what you want? How would you find names that you want on sale?
Yeah, I do two things. One is I look at what's available. I look at the expired domain list, and you can go to different lists and they'll give you a list of all the names that have dropped in the past month. And so you would want to buy what's the hottest right now. But whatever's the hottest right now, everybody else knew that they were dropping each day too. They would have already picked them over, Julie. So you have to tell yourself that even though the smartest people out there didn't want them.
So is there any kind of tool, like in fantasy, you have the percent added on Sunday that you go check to see who's hot, who's trending? Is there any tool that gives you that, like the top most common words bought this week?
Yes.
Let's see it.
But I don't know where it is now because most of the time these tools keep getting purchased by companies that want to use the tool for themselves. And so let's see.
Uh-oh. My computer might die, and if it does, I'm so sorry.
All right. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So I use this expired domains, and you can look on deleted domains, and they'll tell you the domains that have deleted in the past month. And you have to have an account with them, and you can look it up. But here's another site that you can use, Lean Domain Search. And the first thing I'll say when you're looking for coupon domain names is open up a WordPad or a text file next to your screen. And what you want to do is you want to put your candidates on another piece of paper or another file. And there's a thing called recency bias, which says when you first discover a name, you're going to love it more than you really should. You know what I mean? Because you're only going to see the positives. You're going to be looking at a bunch of terrible names. You're going to see one that's good, and you're going to think, oh my gosh, I've got to get it. But what you really want to do is unless you just know it's the one, kind of like meeting someone from the opposite sex in a bar, oh, they're the one. You pretty much want to say, I'm going to make a list of my top 20, and then I'm going to go back over them in a half hour and see what the top 5 are. But the way it goes with domain names is you can either see what's available through the expired list, or you can use a site like Lean Domain Search. And what they do is they've already figured out as of 10 years ago what the most popular words are that are in domain names. So if I type in Julie Loves, they're going to give me the next word that's like online is in the most amount of domain names, at least when they did this study 10 years ago. Do you follow me?
Okay, so it's not like the trending names, but it's history.
Right. So it's a little bit dated, but it gives you an idea. So I put in something Julie Loves where there's not a lot of names taken.
Domains.
Go ahead.
I was going to say Julie Loves domains. Fill in the blank. Nothing.
Well, no, because it may be because what this is doing is this is showing me the names in order of the word that it's adding. See how it adds Julie Loves Online, Julie Loves Blog, Julie Loves Web. So these are the most popular endings for all the domain names that have ever been registered.
Okay.
So then domains may be down here, like Julie Loves Gaming, you know what I mean? So it depends where the word domains is.
Right.
And it may be down there somewhere. Let me do a find. Hold on. Oh, it's not there. Huh. All right. I don't know. I can't believe it's taken. So what I'll do is I'll take like robotics is a huge deal right now. And I'll say robotics, and I can either pick names.
Okay, it's not just me. We're not seeing your search terms. We're just seeing the Lean Domain Search.
Okay, hold on.
Okay, thank you for saying that. I thought that was just me.
Okay, you're right. Let me see. Stop sharing. Okay, hold on. Stop sharing. Now I'm going to do share. Share. Tab. I must have had another one open. All right, how's that?
This is an entirely different page than what I was looking at earlier.
Okay, good. Okay, this is it.
Yep.
Okay, so robotics. So now I type in robotics, Lean Domain Search, and it tells me that it's giving me words that begin with robotics, and then they have the most popular endings after them.
Oh, we've looked at this tool before on here. Okay, I remember this.
Roboticsville, Robotics Share, Robotics Tool, and this is giving me the ones that start with the term. I could also do the ones that are beginning and end. So robotics close, robotics buddy, robotics machine. Robotics file, robotics tracker. I like ology, but I don't know if I like it here.
I like ology.
It'd be robots. So the reason that the ology is important is that domain names have really changed over the past 20 years from going from keywords to brandable. So lean domain search doesn't help you a lot because it's giving you words that are functional, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like online and blog and stuff. But people now want a name for their company like Robotics Whammy. But robotics fashion.
Interesting.
That's not terrible. So I may take that, and I don't necessarily want to buy it. Now, this site doesn't guarantee that these are truly available.
That was my next question.
But they're probably 90% available. But just don't be bummed. If they're not available, it doesn't mean that someone got it in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It just means that somehow they use a different list to see if things are taken. But I still feel like I can find one here. I'm going to go with at the end. And what I'm looking for here is a company name. Someone that like say you could get the domain AIrobotics.com. I think we all agree that we'd all register that, right?
Right.
AI robotics. So you tell yourself, okay, there is some names like quantum robotics I would probably buy, or Sigma robotics, or diamond robotics, or pyramid robotics. Ha ha ha. And so those would be the type of brandables that you might want to consider.
You
So
should type
that's
in
what,
robo and see what comes up next for brandables, prefixes.
let's see. Let's see if we can find one. Fabulous robotics. Chill robotics. So I like the word chill. See, this tells me that this may be updated, Julie, because that is not a word that would have been popular 8 years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that tells me that this may be more updated than I think. Bling robotics. So it's funny that you say robo, because the next thing I did was I looked up just Audix, where I wanted to see different words like that people might like come up with, like what's called a portmanteau, a combination of words like chat Audix or click Audix. Now, what it does is it tells you that no, robotics is a really special word. Like there aren't a lot of words that are like it. You know what I mean? Like green Audix, you're like, it's like robotics is special, you know? But like you did, you took the other part about it and you took the robo and you said, let's start with that. And I think we're going to find one here, Julie, to spend our $4.99.
Robo for life.
Robo lighting is kind of functional.
Well, I feel like that's a way to get somewhat of a brandable.
Yeah. No, you're thinking Roboopolis.
Oh. Robopolis.
Robo choices. Robo questions.
Robo questions.
So maybe I would put that. And what happens is, in a world of terrible names, Robo Questions stands out, right?
Yeah.
But what you want to do is you want to put it on your list of your top 20 over the next half hour, because then you want to compare it against other choices. You know what I mean?
Robo chickens? No, Robo choices. Okay.
Robo sugar.
It's not bad. I feel like Robo chickens would be very fun.
Robo passport. Robo
envy.
Yeah. But this also tells you how not all domain names are taken, right?
Yeah.
Robo trivia.
Robo essence.
Robo entrepreneur. So all these names, you can make a case for them.
Robo anytime.
Ooh, I like that one.
I like that one a lot. I saw that one with my terrible vision too.
Robo. So anyway, so that's one of the things I'll do. And then the last thing I'll do
is... You see an increase in Robo names going up.
What's that?
As if we could see an increase in like robo names being bought after the show. You
Yeah.
guys know where it came from. I said it first.
So I'm going to stop sharing. The other thing I'll do is I keep a list of, and then we'll finish with this. I keep a list of all the major cities. And so what I'll do is I have this list of all these cities: Los Angeles, New York, Dallas, Boston, Miami, Nashville. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to say that you might want to have a name. You might want to have robotics with your city in it.
Oh, now that's a good idea.
So I'm going to go ahead and
Cincinnati Robotics. Now that's a thing.
now did this tell me if this goes to Domain Cost Club? Does it say okay. So
Ta-da.
I use Domain Cost Club because they let me do an advanced search, and I can put them all in there, and then I can tell it, go ahead and look them all up. Come on. Well, maybe I'll have to do it on Spaceship. All right. Oops, something went wrong. All right. Spaceship, what they call their bulk searches, they call it beast mode.
Okay.
So you have to navigate to beast mode, and then you can put in 1,000 domains, and then you tell it you want them. And so it's going to tell me. So this is kind of a combination of geos, which a lot of people like selling, you know what I mean? Like Cincinnati surgeon or Los Angeles electrician, you know, because you have a really specific market for that name. And so I'm going to combine that with something trendy like robotics. And I'm stalling here while Spaceship looks these up.
We just had too many thoughts for it. What can we say? Did you do robotics first or second?
I did it second.
I like that.
Yeah, I think it sounds better second. Well, let's see. Anyway, so that's kind of what I do when I'm
When you see a sale.
yeah, I'm saying, all right, we got a question. More Than SEO always has a question. We'll do one question and then we'll head out of Dodge. With DJT likely to sign executive orders on crypto, how can we leverage that in order to reach first timers and convey the need for your vanity license plate, i.e. your Web3 domain for the longer crypto addresses? Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see. I played a little game with the space I was on this morning, which is how many times do we think the word crypto is going to be mentioned in the president's inaugural address?
Oh, wow.
And do we think that the word Bitcoin is actually going to be used? So I think he is going to talk about wanting to be the leader in crypto and AI generically, but we'll see if he says Bitcoin. But when he spoke at the Bitcoin conference in Nashville, which I listened to, he talked about something called self-custody, meaning you'll have the right to keep your crypto assets in your own wallet. That's one of the things people like about it, is you're not having to be at a bank that charges you fees. Even the new cool trendy apps that aren't a bank, but you don't know if the app's going to charge you fees or extra cost, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so there's an idea of self-custody, which means it's good and bad. You're in charge of your own assets, which means if you mess up, you can lose your own assets. But that's what More Than SEO is talking about, is you can use these Web3 domain names to be the easy to remember name for your wallet. And I would just say, hey, Julie, if you want to send me a tip for these great name ideas that I gave you, just send it to, pagehow.summer. And that's a lot.
A little ask for a tip on our show every week.
Yeah. And they can send it in crypto. So they can just go to their crypto and say, click, send $5. And I know that there's buy me a coffee, you know what I mean, in the Web2 world, but that means you have to log into your buy me a coffee account. The person receiving it has to tie their Buy Me a Coffee to their not Shopify, but Stripe account. Then they have to update their Stripe settings to be able to receive your payment. You know what I mean? And there's a lot to be said for just click and bada bing, send the Monopoly money, to the name. So,
Yeah.
All right, let's see what we got. And let's see. Let me go back to share my screen. Now I can't find the screen that I'm sharing. Hold, please. That's not it. It's funny. It's supposed to have a little diamond by it. There it is. Okay. All right. So Abilene, Albany. It's funny what's taken, Julie. Anchorage Robotics is taken. Asheville Robotics is taken.
That one checks out.
Atlanta Robotics is taken. So what you're doing here is you're looking for one that stands out if you're just a domain investor. You don't care what city you buy. You just want a big city, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or you're looking for one that's maybe near you. So if you lived in Birmingham, that might be nice, but I don't know if that's big enough to buy. Same
it
with
might be because I don't know. Never mind.
Chattanooga, Clarksville.
Maybe worth to do a Google search and find out what technical schools are in what cities.
Yeah. But I'm looking for one that has like NBA teams. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the other thing is you usually want single words like Hartford Robotics. If it's High Point Robotics, then people might be like HP or H Point or something like that. You know what I mean? So Huntsville Robotics, I might do because I'm close to Huntsville and it's a major up and coming defense hub. You know what I mean?
That's what I was trying to get at whenever we were talking about Birmingham. I was like, how close is that to UAH? Because I know UAH has a huge robotics program.
Yeah. So we'll see if someone goes in Knoxville Robotics.
Hey, it's a pretty cool city, what I've heard. They got a great basketball team.
Memphis Robotics. That's probably the largest city we've seen so far is Memphis. Newport, Napa Valley. Let's find one. We want one to stay. Orange County Robotics. So this is one that most people only search the names of cities, but I know how big Orange County is. You know what I mean? And so that's going to be number 2 on my list. Raleigh is definitely a place where they're growing a lot of businesses. Some people call it Raleigh-Durham or the Triangle. Salt Lake City is pretty big. Savannah is pretty trendy.
I like Huntsville.
I think Huntsville's the winner right now. Ventura, Victorville, Waco, Wichita. Yeah, so I think I'm going to go with where'd it go? I'm just going to start over. I'm just going to type in Huntsville Robotics. Now, the other thing I might do is I might go to another screen and I might just type in Huntsville Robotics. I'm a little weird in that I don't want to buy a name if there's another company that's a big company already using it. Mm-hmm. A lot of people would say, oh my gosh, if there's a company called Huntsville Robotics and they don't have the .com, you could sell it to them. But I would be more likely, just because the way I am, I would buy it and I would let them try to find it. You know what I mean? But I don't know if I'd reach out to them. But anyway, that's just me. Other people would say that's the perfect one. But anyway, Julie, so that's what I'm doing to buy my inexpensive domains.
All righty. Well, you have fun doing that. Let us know what you buy. Everyone else, if you buy something fun, let us know in the comments. We would love to see it. I hope everyone has a great week. And we will see you same time, same place next week on Monday.
Shout out to our sponsor, Freename. Thank you, Freename, for sponsoring us. Freename's registrar is coming soon for Web 2 domains and tokenization and fractionalization. Right now, you can own your own TLD at Freename. I own .summer, .homepage, and .x. I love them. So thank you, Freename.